At the moment I'm completely done tearing out the wire harnesses out of both trucks right now. The donor truck and also my mud truck. Now I need to take the wire harness from the donor truck and put it into this one. They're from two different style trucks, so this should be interesting. I wouldn't advise just anybody to start a project like this. I'm not going to show everything step by step. I'm just going to show you a little bit of what I did to get this truck running. My buddy gave me this engine for free, $350. It's out of a 89 3/4 ton. Just needs a little bit of assembly. This is my tailgate here on my mud truck, and that's all the wiring that I just took out of this truck. And this bundle right here came from this donor truck, and that's what's going into the mud truck. I've got the harness that goes under the hood just laying here. That's the part that goes into the fuse box. Got a whole bunch of wiring, just kind of routed it roughly where it's going to be. Got my computer wire running down through the firewall there. Just have to hook that all up from the inside yet and attach all that onto the firewall, hook up all the wiring. It's all laying in place and should fit in there nicely. And what I'm using is an electric parts cleaner. Anything like that, I highly suggest that you spray all the connections before you reattach everything. Saves for a lot of headaches later on. I've got all this bolted onto the firewall here, and everything that I need for the engine to run under the hood is complete. Now what I have left to do yet is reassemble this block of wires here that goes through that hole in the firewall, and it comes right through there on this side. Everything's still looking pretty bare inside there right now. There's really no wiring in the truck, a couple of little bits and pieces here and there. It's probably a good idea to keep your donor truck handy, so that if you need any more parts off of it, then you can just always go back to it, or if there's something that you're not sure about how it's supposed to hook up, then you can always come back to the original truck and have a look-see and maybe figure out where you left off. So this is the portion that came out of this part of the dash with all the gauges and everything on it. That's where the main plug goes into for all your gauges and lights and everything. Hopefully I'm going to be able to incorporate this into my other dash somehow and get this all to plug in. And I'll have gauges and everything. Maybe I'll stop blowing my engine. Now I just got to take a few things off of the dashboard here. I wasn't quite sure if I was going to use the whole dash or just the wiring, and turns out I'm just going to use the wiring, as the dashes, they mount completely different. So anyway, I'm going to start tearing this apart and start putting it back together on the other truck. So this is what's left of that other dashboard, and I've got all the wiring yanked out of it now, everything that I wanted. So it's all in a cluster right there. I'm going to make an attempt to use part of this dashboard here. This is the part that goes around by the steering column, and that's where the gauges sit in, and where this slot is, that's where there's a plug comes through. And I kind of want to try and use that whole piece and attach it inside my other dashboard. This way I can just snap my gauges into place and bolt everything in, and it should be good to go. So this is the section I want right here. I'm just going to use a hacksaw to chop all that off. just going to leave a little extra on it. There's the piece I need. What I've done is I've cut off the excess plastic off of this piece here, and that's from that other dashboard. I'm just working on getting it to fit over top of the steering column. I've taken the outer shell off of the dashboard, and my oh shit handle is gone along with it. That right there on the end of the dashboard with the duct tape on it, that's my oh shit handle. I'm going to have to find a way to reattach that, or I may end up putting this piece back on. It's pretty broken up, but I might put it back in just so I have my oh shit handle. And from the inside, I've got my wiring cluster here. So this is the part that goes through the firewall, and a lot of vehicles have that as a fuse box. This one here's got the fuse box that was attached into the dashboard. And in the interior, I probably could have shown a little bit more of how I put all this in, but the video is already going to be long enough, and so far I've just got my fuse box is just sitting down in here, and I just want to get this put together enough so that I can start it and move it out of here. I got my computer just sitting down there right now. That's the one that came with this wire harness, and it's for a 305 engine, but I'm going to try it just to give it a test start. If that works, then I'm going to plug in the original computer for this truck and see if I can get it to work with that one also. I'm just about ready for a test start on this. I can hear the fuel pump running when I turn the key on. It's a good sign. I'm just going to get some fuel and pour it down in the throttle body. So this is the moment of truth here. Gonna get in and fire it up.